Dear C-SETI, dear Dr. Stephen Greer, sorry I'm a bit nervous on camera. I just wanted to say that I congratulate you and you're doing a very great job with disclosure. Dr. Stephen Greer, I know you more than the rest of your team. You have taught me so much. At one stage, because I got into this topic that I thought ETs were bad, I thought they were out to... I listened to a Philip Schneider saying they were going to eat us for lunch and by the year 2030 they were going to wipe us out. And by listening to you, and then when I listened to a guy called Dr. Wayne Dyer. Dr. Wayne Dyer is deceased now, you might know him. He talks about that you can create your reality, create your present, be about peace, be about, source. I'm nervous on camera because I just, I need to relax. But in the background I've got my African mask made in Africa. It's got the ET eyes, hopefully you can see it on film. I just wanted to say to the C-SETI team and Dr. Stephen Greer that I would like to work more closely with you. My friend Kay McCulloch from Queensland has done many outings with you and she knows you quite well. And me and Kay have been talking at the moment about a project that we want to do because I have made, say, 140 sightings over the past 3 years. Once I became spiritual, because the thing is I got into conspiracy theories, I got into this, that and everything, and I had this negative mind outlook and I couldn't make contact. When I looked at Dr. Wayne Dyer, he talked about forgiveness, he talked about creating a reality, and that night I went out and I made so much more contact because I was thinking that black ops were just out there reading our minds and all this bad stuff, because I do suffer a mental illness and it has been hard, but I call my mental illness a blessing because I think differently. I've got other skills, and as long, I've been reading a lot of psychology. I've got my bookshelf right there that they link. There is similarities between madness and genius, and at the moment when you're sick there is no such thing as genius, you're just deluded. So I'm wanting to work with you guys. I'm wanting to meet Greer because you're my idol. You've taught me so much. All those, it annoys me so much. I put stuff up on the internet and they're like, Greer's all about making money, he's charging people $4,000 to go out, and you gave up a $5,000 a year job to do that. You're not making that much money from it. So these people, and it's the hardest thing is I'll look at something and my consciousness and what I think, I'll sink in the information. They'll pick at something and they won't absorb any of the information, and they'll go on about, oh, he's a bullshitter, or he's working for the CIA and all this other rubbish. So I give it to you. Dr. Stephen Greer, you're going up against the big guys. You're going up against oil companies, you're going up against the government, you're going up against and you did say that like 70 or 80% of these people in these projects want this to come out. And I'm one of these people that I learn a lot from other people. I've had a good upbringing. I got into ETs at a very young age. The first books that I ever went to into the library, I went up to the shelf and I just picked out this book, and it was on Betty and Barney Hill, Alien Abductions. This was in year 3 or 4. I didn't do too much reading, but I used to look at I used to do a bit of reading, but I used to look at the pictures and I used to have a really good imagination. So that was going back in, say, 94. So I've been interested in the subject since 94. I had a good mate, Laurie, that he wasn't working at the time. He was into politics, he was into UFOs and all this stuff. And he was a really good mate, but whenever I used to go over to his house, he used to be talking about stuff and I couldn't answer. I had nothing to say. And he said, Martin, something big is going to happen in 2012. I don't know what it is, Marty, but something big is going to happen. Well, that year he died. When he died, that was the hardest thing for me because he was the closest person that I knew that had died. I went off the rails. I had to sell my business. Because I was working 70 hours a week, I didn't have time to research all these things. I took 4 years off of my business to get into researching 9/11 conspiracies, aliens, ETs, UFOs, and consciousness, and this, that, and everything. The first 2.5 years was, when you knew it's something, you're taking it in, you're trying to, formulate and sort of stuff like that. Once I got to a certain stage, when it was my 3rd year, I was like, no, this is right, whatever. A few questions came through my mind when I was looking at Greer. People were saying, oh, he's a fraud and this and that. And I had some questions that ran through my mind going, oh, is he a fraud or whatever? But when I looked at Dr. Wayne Dyer and I forgave Black Ops, I forgave the elite, I was spiritual, I looked at Source as God. I saw, the thing is, I was brought up as being Christian, but I never really believed in God. I think that the world would, and all these scientists and astrophysicists would believe in God if they realized that their definition of God is different to what God is. I believe God is a God that's someone who created our souls. Our universe was created out of something. Who knows? Maybe, listen to this for an example, maybe we become global peace, universal peace, our galaxy works together within our whole universe, and we say, hey, everything's going so good and we need more room, let's get all the matter out of all the black holes and then explode it into another pocket and then create another universe. Maybe that is a case. Who knows? I'm a very open-minded person. I'm quite logical. I'm very spiritual. I'm a very understanding, empathetic person. Dr. Sim Greer, you're doing a great job. I couldn't do what you do. I'm one of these people that I learn things from everyone, but I have my own unique look at things. I had seen on one of your videos that you said that, with these elite, with these people, we can change these people through prayer, through good thought, through everything. I'm totally with you on that. I've made so much contact. I go out under the stars and I don't meditate. Meditation is something that I need to master and learn a silent and quiet mind. I go out there and be quite loud. I go out there and look at the stars. Sometimes after a few glasses of red wine, and I just look at the stars and look at the beauty. And I'll be like, the world is like this, and this is what I want to do. And I said, there must be this universal law, this transcript. And I said, it's A. There's 2 parts of it. It's A. It was A then B, but then I changed it to A to Z. A is, who is the power to you? Who is the power to you? What is the power to your company? What is the power to your corporation, to your country, and what have you? Then there is Z. Z is who's not getting helped by you, who does not agree with what you have to do, who is not going to be helped or anything like that. Then there is for the superpowers. I've got a lot of respect for Russia, and for the people that live in America, I've got a lot of respect for you. But with these projects, I don't agree with. And I was dead set against them, and I hated them. And then I had this spiritual awakening that I felt that when I went out and made contact, that God came down and just blessed me and said, man, God is the person that did the most in the whole project before. And God said, okay, I'm going to be ruler and master of this, and I'm going to sit back. I'm not going to act, but I'm going to listen. And if someone does something that I like, I feel, and I will resonate with you. That resonating and that connection will strengthen your vibration, and you will learn more. So that is how I see God. Because I want it to be no Z, all A. I want it to be about education. I want it about changing in the media. I want it about changing people's perceptions. You see that if you're one of these sports players that's the best in the world, and you become best in the world, and then you don't start playing competition, whether it's tennis against number 2, 3 or 4, and you just stay there doing your own thing, you don't become number 1. The thing is, too many people have stagnated and said that we need to think of outside of here and say, there's people billions of years more older than us. How do they think? That's how I like to think. What do they want to think about? I go outside and I get flashbulbs. I say, hey, there must be this universal law. It's A and Z. It can be followed on planet Earth, on our galaxy, our universe, and all the universes. I said, and I pulled it out of my ass. I said, I'm pulling this out of my ass. I said, God is going to mark us on a signature. A signature is going to be a picture, and it's going to be a picture of a current state of our connection. So each person has got a signature and has got a picture. Each person on the planet has their own picture and the signature. So the signature is the potential, where they're going, the vibration, and what they connect to. I said to these ETs, I said, we need to step up. I know that you guys have not needed that much help because, just by chance that you haven't had all these bad things that have happened to you. I'm asking for your help. I'm wanting you to help us. I'm wanting to do something that not many other people want to do. I want to help the elite. I want to help the bad people. But I want for you, and the whole sky lit up, I said, for all these ETs coming down, I said, I've got the master plan. I've got this one that the human race works their shit out, the galaxy works their shit out, the universe, all the universes, they all come together. There must be a law that we can all come together, brainstorm, think, start an educational system, how we can become more sustainable. Once we outgrow, we create other universes. We create other places. We just created out of ones and zeros. The sky was lighting up. I've got a lot of enthusiasm, and I've got this deep down in my heart that I want to help. I said that, these coincidences have happened in my life, and I know that when these coincidences mean nothing to you, but okay, for a start, and it's to point you in the direction to say that you can do something. All right. I was born on the 5th of July 1985. Marty Back to the Future came out on the 3rd of July 1985. Even though the movie doesn't make that much sense. My mate Laurie that died, that said that when he died, he is the DeLorean. Dear Laurie ran. He ran to God and said something was up. That is when there was a big shift. So it was saying that I can make a difference. I can change. I can make us come into the future. I was born in Scotland. I came to Australia. So when I'm having my birthday on the 5th of July, it's Independence Day, like the movie in America. So it's like a propaganda movie that the aliens aren't going to come down. Maybe they will come down once everyone wants to push the nuclear warhead buttons and blow us all up. Maybe that's, but I said ETs, God, source, energy, dark matter. And I even had this thought that ran through my mind. I said, has dark matter always been to the same extent from when our universe was created? I said, imagine this. Imagine if dark matter were the deceased and dark energy were the powers that worked within the dark matter to the light. We are the light, we are the living. I had this experience, and I'm not going to say because it's going to incriminate me, but it was like the Matrix with the red pill. I got in contact with this other entity that said that, I had to turn off my phone to think. My mate, I could read the consciousness from my other mate that was in the room. He turned off the power to the house and everything was awesome. I sat there and I started talking out loud, and I said, don't talk out loud, just talk in your mind. And I was talking about that, and I said, if I help you, you've got to help me. I said, you've got to come down, you've got to back me up, back us up, spread yourself all out throughout the universe, not say a word, and come down and restore things when things are going to happen. That might discredit me and sound like a load of absolute bullshit, but they said we were not relative to each other. I had this sense that we were getting controlled from these satellites by creating, Nikola Tesla said our delta waves work between like 4 and 6 hertz, that if you could control those hertz, you could control people's feelings. At the time, there was a lot of things on terrorism. I worked out all this stuff. I went on this walk the next day, and I walked past this horse, and the horse looked at me. And I said in my mind, I don't know what happened last night to you, but I felt like I had met Jesus. And the horse got up on its back legs and went and just looked at me with concern, and I was just like, after that, I developed a psychosis. I started getting these insights to these things that, but then what I felt was I had broken away from the matrix, and that I had got all this insight, and then I started getting attacked. So I'm going to leave it on that and not try and put you off about that. But, I've had all these experiences, and the thing is, there are these coincidences that happen to each and every other person that are unique to yourself. If you try and explain them to someone else, and all it is just a trigger to say, keep on going. One time, I felt this presence, and I was in my living room, and I said, if you do not like me, then take me out of the situation. And there was this black flash that happened in my house, and all the drapes are all flying up. So I walked outside, and I said, I grabbed onto a tree, and I held onto the tree, and I looked into the sun. Because I grabbed onto the tree because I wanted to ground myself, I looked into the sun. And I said, I don't know if you are the devil or you are bad, but if you are bad, you could have done some good. And the wind that happened at that very moment, I was holding onto the tree, and if I didn't hold onto this tree, I would have been blown off my feet. All these strange things have happened. I had another experience when I was at my house, and I said that I thought I was Jesus, and I had a slate that had not been placed onto the ground, and I went out and I wrote this message, and I went outside and I washed the slate, and I said, I'm claiming the slate for humanity and the universe. It was clouded, and this big disc-shaped, space of cloud just disappeared over the house. And I had these visions and these words saying, oh, this is excellent, this is whatever. And, maybe Dr. C-SETI Greer might understand this. This is quite deep. I'm going to go into the next topic because this is quite personal for me. But, okay. Me and Kay at the moment are in a discussion about, my mission is to help myself to get a job, to be a good father with my baby over here, to be a good parent, to be able to bring in an income, but to be a big thinker, think of these things, convey it to the ETs, get them to come down and help. But I've got to help myself and do things. I can't just get them to give me money or give me this. Have you seen the Pepsi ad, the Black Knight Decoded? I would recommend watching that. Now, this is something that the C-SETI team or Dr. Stephen Greer that you might not agree with, but I hope that we can come to a level playing field and understanding for this. Pepsi, for me, was like when I went out and made contact and said everyone's going to be instinctually upgraded, everything's going to work out. Night flash after night flash, night quake, everything working. They talk about Nikola Tesla. They don't talk about him in school books, about everything like that. They talk about the Black Knight. They talk about global peace. They talk about there's a message, the alien message that said they've been contacting us over the years, but that we've got a lot to do and a lot to change. We need world peace and global peace. They have stepped up to the mark. I'm going to tell you right now that I've made a movie. It's not that professional because I just got down and I thought, no, I'm going to make it. It comes from the heart. You can watch it. I've done a write-up for them. Pepsi, I feel, the thing is, we can't overthrow the government. We can't overthrow the elite. I want to be their best friend. I am not a perfect person, but I'm a good heart. I was brought up right, and I might have partied a little bit hard and, hung out with some people that might not have been so good for me, but I never did anything wrong. I never hurt anyone. And, I feel that I want to help them. I said that the best thing that God could do if God was watching would be that if everyone was recorrected. Not everyone's going to be recorrected, but I said to the ETs, I said, okay, just picture this, right? All your thoughts, if 100 monkey effects can make a difference by a certain amount of people doing something, can affect other people knowing it, then obviously what other people's negative thoughts out there can affect us. So therefore, throughout the whole universe, as opposed to us being a joke and not going anywhere, how and them not connecting to us, how about that we change that opinion, we make more contact, we show them that we can make change and we can turn things around. And I said that there's this joke going that we thought we were in the center of the universe. The joke is that we brought the universe together. People are light years ahead of us, way ahead of us. But when does there come a time when you get to hear a message? You get to hear and feel someone's feelings and say there's enough suffering of women getting raped, children dying, people starving, people being under this. There's no point of an Independence Day of coming down and abducting all the bad people that have got the most money. All that money is just going to sit in their account. The best thing to do is, I said, lift the vibration of the planet, make us instinctually more aware. I said, this is the master plan, right? I said, the universe isn't infinite, but there's probably infinite amount of universes. And I've got this master plan that if I've got one person from every single universe coming down and joining me in this very one time, and you can go back to your universe and say, this person from Earth wants everything to work out. He said that he doesn't want to know all the bad stuff that might have happened. He doesn't want to be in charge. He wants to learn more. He wants to be about education. He wants about feeding and clothing the poor. He wants to help the big business. I want to start an educational system, right? That we teach people the core essentials. We teach them about spirituality. We make the world spiritual. The thing is, the elite are scared that we're going to wake up and we're going to become angry and we're going to overthrow them. Make them spiritual. I became spiritual and I don't want to overthrow anyone. I'm about peace. I want to do the best thing possible. God is watching. God is marking us. And I want to get the goddamn best, with no disrespect, best brownie points there are. I want to initiate this. I need help. I've gone to Pepsi and I said, I know Pepsi isn't big in Australia, but I'm going to get, me and Kay are going to organise this group that we're going to go out to a tribal group. We're going to talk to them. We're going to bond to them. We're going to get to know them. We're going to share information. We're going to get them to put on a show. We're going to do a C5. We're going to make contact. We're going to film it. And we're going to have an Aboriginal. We're going to say, listen to this right, you might not like it, but just drink it. And at the end of the day, you guys are going to get money before I do. We're going to pay for this. We're going to help you. We're going to get Pepsi to go to the government and organise things properly. The thing is, I don't want to be in the major limelight, but I want to be a part of this. I want this to be in a Native America as well, like in the United States, because I want Australia and United States. We were both have natives that lived on this planet, lived on this earth, lived on this country, but we were taken over by the English. Now we're embracing multiculturalism. I want them, so the event is, it's going to be obviously bigger in America than it's going to be bigger in Australia, but it's going to incorporate the core values of them both by saying, having the elders come up and say, after we talk to them and say, hey, you know, we've got to respect the land. We've got to treat the land with respect. We've got to think of these new ideas, how we become sustainable. We should become more multicultural. We should have respect for the natives. We should create these initiatives, these institutions, how we can educate the people that are poor off, that are Aboriginal, to get them back on track so we don't lose a race. Because a lot of people have gone to alcoholism, sniffing petrol, doing this and that. For a Native America, I want there to be like a stage, different tents, to be about spirituality, about self-help, self-healing. I want at the night there to be like an event, like a music event. I want there to be 3 or 2 C-5s during the event. At the end of the night, at closer to the end of the night, I want the Native Indians to go up and do their show while we do our CE5, while the cameras are rolling, get it on camera, express to people and say that these people are telepathic. If they come here, that is a major thing. That is something that, you know, the event is about being one. It's about not treating people differently because of their colour or their race or their religion. Put religion aside. For people that are religious, say, how about just realise this, that you can be a prophet. You can be just as good or better than that prophet that you read in your book. You can make that. They're not saying that they are the best and you have to be less than them. You can be that. For the atheist to go, I want to represent Earth. I want to stand up and say that, you know, like, I want to make a difference. I want world peace. I'm going to be talking to people. I'm going to be more friendly to people. I'm going to talk to a random in the street once a week. I'm going to help in my community. I'm going to be about forgiveness. I'm going to be about trying to make a difference and saying that you're representing and you're trying to make a difference. So I want it to be, because I think Australia and the United States, Aboriginals, Native Americans, both have got core qualities. We're both people that have had our land taken away from them. I was born in Scotland, so I am not someone who feels totally bad that I came over here shackled like this and have taken someone's land, but I feel deep down that I need to help them. So for us and for them, we need to say, hey, back in the day, they respected the land, they made contact. We need to be one as a species, one, and represent and say, I'm going to make something of my life. I'm going to make myself proud. I can still listen to these people that are religious, but I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. And who cares if you don't believe in God? I believe that there is a God, but I don't believe in the God that people believe in. But I still believe it's better to be a Buddhist and not believe in God and be a good person, because you will get more looked upon as being good by God than someone. How I see things is that if God is going to judge you, whether you believe in him or Jesus, is a load of absolute bollocks. Because if I was God, I would not see that. And I would think God is way beyond me. So this is something that I'm wanting the C-SETI team and Dr. Stephen Greer, I know you don't want to do it. alright? But the thing is,